this here is the current Brookhaven that you probably already know. But luckily for you guys, I'm going to show several things that have been removed from Brookhaven over the years. First thing I'm going to show you that was removed from Brookhaven is a very simple thing, but it makes a lot of sense. Basically, you already know the function of using emotes here in Brookhaven, but this emote was suddenly removed from Brookhaven without explanation or anything. And for you to understand what I'm talking about, I found this video here that basically shows what the CPR animation was like in Brookhaven. Well, basically in this video you can see that it's showing here that there's the CPR animation that no longer exists in Brookhaven. And basically, this animation is to revive players who are down. See? The little girl was lying there. See? And he's doing CPR on her. And like, apparently there's no reason at all for this animation to have been removed, since it was a normal first aid animation. But unfortunately, players didn't use this animation the way they should have. And they did various suspicious things with this animation, which forced Wolfpack to remove this emote. Like I said, the reason is very silly, but it's completely understandable. Well, the next thing removed was right here, where the Brookhaven Mall is now. And as you can see, instead of the mall there was Burger Barney, which was basically a very old fast food joint in Brookhaven. And coming in here you can see that it's literally like a McDonald's, Burger King, or one of those fast food franchise places. Well, despite this Burger Barney sign being very ugly, this one here was certainly the most complex diner that Brookhaven ever had. Like, we have several grill parts here, there are several refrigerators with various foods inside, like there's a burger here, there are several vegetables. While in current Brookhaven, this place has turned into an entertainment center for various things. Cinema, shows, pizzeria, TV station, gym, dance studio, and finally, the Happy Burger, which by no means is as complex as Burger Barney was, because look inside here, man, there's only like a little stove and nothing else. Literally, there's no place to fry things, no refrigerators, no storage or anything. One thing that was removed from Brookhaven, and you probably didn't notice, is here in the arcade. You might even think that inside the arcade there were only these motorcycles, these arcade games, and even the Mario game. But right in this spot here, there used to be a staircase, and this staircase was exactly this one here, which thanks to the old version of Brookhaven, we can see what was up there. And well, going up the stairs you can already see that here we have a sign that says happy birthday. That's because up here we have a very colorful hall to have a really cool birthday party. But as you can see up here, there was almost nothing, just these little tables here and the She-Hulk. But in current Brookhaven, this room still exists. But to access it, we'll go up this staircase on the side. I don't know why they put it here, but I think it looks pretty cool. Well, going up this staircase you can see that the party room isn't here. That's because we have these three options here. This option that's active here is basically the training saloon, which is basically a spa where we can have sauna, artificial tanning, and many other things. This other option here is basically a breakfast restaurant, like we can have coffee, eat a little bread, and some other things that are in the breakfast, like pancakes. But basically the option that interests us now is this one here, the party. And by clicking on it we'll have this super cool party room with lots of balloons, lots of colors, and lots of lights. And as you can see, the Brookhaven party room is much better now, but at least it's nice to know what the Brookhaven party room used to be like. Well, the next thing removed from Brookhaven was gigantic, like literally gigantic. Here where Brooks Dinner is, the Brookhaven Hotel, and also the Brookhaven Airport. There used to be something much larger that was completely removed from Brookhaven and isn't in the game anymore. It's been years since it was taken out, and the place I'm talking about is precisely the Blackhawk community. And as you can see, it took up this entire street here in Brookhaven, and there really was nothing else here besides this auto shop. Oh, which purpose is also quite different from current Brookhaven. Well, the Blackhawk community is nothing more than an extra street that existed in Brookhaven. Here we have very classic houses in Brookhaven, like this little farmhouse, and this other house here is quite old, to tell the truth. And like I said, this really was an extra street in Brookhaven, but they took it out to put in these other items that I had shown before. Another interesting thing about this is that since the Blackhawk community was back here, basically the Brookhaven Hotel was in this spot here. In case you're not recognizing it, basically it's this place here that has the Brookhaven Bank, the Rockstar, and all these other shops. And yes, they really are the same place, just completely different, all because of a hotel. And as you can see, the Brookhaven Hotel used to be much larger, since it has stairs that lead here to more floors with many more rooms. A lot more people could really fit in this hotel, and it really was a much more respectable hotel. Several years ago, the daycare appeared here in Brookhaven exactly in this spot, with all these toys and a special place for the kids. But as usual, example, the daycare was put in the place of another structure that was completely removed from Brookhaven. And this structure, whether you like it or not, was an agency building, which for those who don't know, is like a secret organization that controls Brookhaven from the shadows. So as you can see, we can even enter this building here that has several rooms and even looks like a city hall. And well, right here next to it, we already have a room that belongs to the SWAT team where we have several of these items here that we can pick up. We also have a server here apparently. The FBI room was also located here in this spot. Look, there are bombs here. There are also handcuffs, several interesting items. And going up these stairs here, we're going to have something surprising. Basically, here at the end of this corridor, we have the mayor's office. Like I said, this place is like a city hall. And it is. Look, it even says mayor here because it really is where the mayor was. But as we already know, the mayor currently stays here at the town hall, which is the Brookhaven City Hall. Going up exactly this middle staircase here, we'll have this little room here where we can become the mayor of Brookhaven by clicking on this screen. And well, I find this office much nicer, but the agency is really very powerful, so the mayor was probably very strong back then. As I've shown you, before everything on this plot here was completely destroyed or changed position. So like here in Old Brookhaven, we had the auto shop that was much larger. It's a much more respectable store, let's say, and it also had several other secrets inside. Like for example, this door that doesn't open, and here we also have this place where it stores car parts, right, like the car pieces for us to be able to repair them. But the most interesting thing on this street, for sure, was the Brookhaven Bank, which was located near the city exit. Man, and well, as you can see, the Brookhaven Bank hasn't changed much. It looks very similar to the current one, just a few small differences from what I'm seeing. And going up here on the stairs, we have the door that used to be open, and we also have this big safe here, right, which seems to be apparently broken. I don't know. It's kind of weird here. But you can see that this Brookhaven here is so old that some of the shops didn't even exist yet. Look, everything's closed here, as if it's under construction and such. So like, really here things were removed before they even existed. Oh yeah, on this same street a little further ahead, we have the Brookhaven Stables, which I think you remember wasn't here in the current Brookhaven. Currently, the Brookhaven Stables are much further away from the city, because it's basically like a little horse farm. Besides, I think the current one is much bigger to tell the truth. We have a part here where we can raise cattle, raise pigs, etc. And here we also have a part where we can put the horses, right, which are stables, so it makes sense to have horses here. From the old Brookhaven, it's actually quite similar, but as you can see, this part here is much smaller. And here's the cool thing. As you can see, there's a stable just like the one in Brookhaven, only this place here doesn't exist anymore. It's like really an extra part of the farm that they really just deleted from Brookhaven and didn't give any explanation to anyone. Well, the next thing removed is actually quite recent, so probably many of you will remember that it existed in Brookhaven. Basically, I'm talking about something huge, something really very big that existed all over Brookhaven, but was removed overnight. I'm talking exactly about the walls of Brookhaven that existed around the entire Brookhaven to prevent us from leaving the map. And of course, these walls were removed because they put a sea around Brookhaven so we could use boats, sharks, and also have houses on the islands. But even though it was for a good cause, I actually quite like these walls here. Yeah, when they weren't glitched and sent us into the void. Well, another thing that was removed from Brookhaven was here in the lobby, and basically it was a very ugly thing, and thank goodness they took it out of the game. Well, since Brookhaven had just come out back then and nobody knew exactly how to increase the car's speed, put up a house, and those things. Basically, there was this tutorial screen that taught us how to put up houses, increase speed, and click on other players to have more player options. And well, as you can see, despite these signs being very ugly, they were very useful. There was a lot of important information for us to start playing Brookhaven. Fortunately, as we already know how to play Brookhaven and pretty much everyone knows the game, so we don't need this ugly screen here in the lobby anymore. But for sure, these ugly little signs were very important to the history of Brookhaven, as they taught everyone how to play the game. Well, this next thing isn't exactly something that was removed, but it's definitely something that will blow your minds. Everyone knows Brookhaven Beach, and it's been like that for years. We have this mini beach here, this part where we can put a house, that very cute little waterfall, the Brookhaven yacht, this giant forest, and even a camping spot. Honestly, this is one of my favorite places in Brookhaven because it's quite complex and has several cool items to interact with. But in old Brookhaven, it wasn't all that great. And as you can see, really like, there's nothing here. There's only this little beach, which is exactly the same. To tell the truth, they could update this, but the rest didn't exist at all. Look, there was no yacht, there was no little waterfall there, and not even those trees with that camping cabin. And like I said, really this isn't something that was removed from Brookhaven, but as you can see, it really improved a lot over the years. And after showing all these things that were removed from Brookhaven, I'm sure now you want to like and subscribe to the channel to join this huge Brookhaven community. And well, if you like this video, I'm sure you'll like some of these other videos that are on the screen. Thank you very much to everyone who watched the video until the end, and until the next video.